glad you're all doing good. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna read some Am I the A-hole posts. Again, no theme for this one. I just want to see what's hot at the minute. Let's look at the other Reddit page this time. There's two, the abbreviated one and the non-abbreviated one. Okay. The first one is by standard_kick_978. It's titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my wife to get a job if she wants to subsidize the kids? Up until our youngest kid graduated from university, I worked crazy hours out of town to pay for everything. I worked 6 weeks on 12 hours days. Then I will get 3 weeks off. That works out to 56 hours a week if you average it out. I've been doing that since I was 35 years old. It allowed my wife to stay at home and take care of the kids and the house. We also used it to pay off our mortgage as well as buy new cars for cash whenever we needed. I'll describe our budget so you guys can judge. After taxes, we used my take-home to pay the mortgage and bills. We then paid into the college funds for the kids, then into our retirement fund, then we topped up our retirement account. We put money into our emergency fund, then whatever was left we split 50-50. Our tax refund was our vacation fund. Now I'm 55 and I'm tired. My body is beat and I need to slow down. Our kids are both through university. Both got their degrees and have jobs. I did my part. The company I work for had a job open for an office job. I applied and got it. It is a 9-to-5 city job, 40 hours a week. Better hourly rate plus other compensation. However, it is a lot less money without the overtime. I was getting 44 hours a week of overtime. That is huge. But we have money in the bank and I have an easy stretch until I retire. My wife, however, is upset. Both kids are struggling. For the record, they live at home rent-free. But they want cars and apartments of their own. They can afford that. They just won't be getting luxury cars and huge apartments. We no longer have a mortgage and my wife and I are both driving vehicles purchased in the last 3 years. Still under warranty. Our budget no longer has education funds either. We still have more than we need and my wife and I each have $1,000 a month to spend however we want. I am saving up for a new garage/shop. My wife has been giving hers to the kids. She is hinting that I should also contribute. I think I have contributed enough. I told her to get a job. She is only 46. She can go to work and give them her salary. I still provide housing and food for all of them, so she won't starve or anything. Her and the kids think that I'm being cruel, and one of them said I was being lazy by cutting my hours so much. This is my hill to die on. I've done the hard work long enough. I want to enjoy my life. Am I the a-hole for telling her to get a job and give them her money? Absolutely not. That one actually makes me really, really sad. I feel so, so bad for that poor guy. He deserves a family, kids and a wife that appreciate him and everything he's done. He has worked literally so hard, burning himself out constantly for years to provide for them. Mind you, like, not everybody gets to be a stay-at-home parent just because they can't afford it, right? So that is already like a privilege, being able to stay at home, look after the kids, tidy the house, that sort of stuff, rather than going to work. And then on top of that, a lot of people don't get their college tuition paid for. Like, that's a huge privilege and a huge amount of money. Like a huge debt that you now do not have to worry about. You should be very, very grateful for that. And then on top of that, like, they're adults. They can afford these things. They just don't want to use their own money, or they want nicer, but they have to understand that you don't start out with the best of everything. You have to work your way up. They're very lucky to be in the position that they are. They sound very bratty. They are not entitled to any of their parents' money right now. They've given them enough. They're still letting them live at home rent-free, feeding them. A lot of parents would be charging rent by now. They're so privileged, and they don't seem to see it. It's insane how ungrateful and ignorant they are to how good they have it at the moment. Like, this situation is great. So rude. Calling the dad lazy. So rude. Top comment said, "Not the a-hole. Your children need to learn to stand on their own 2 feet. How incredibly entitled of them to expect that you continue to fund their lifestyle. What the hell are they using their degrees for? Tell them to grow the hell up and sort their lives out." The OP said one is a teacher and one is a social worker, and then the reply was, then they get an apartment and a car that a teacher and a social worker can afford. Yep. They need to do things themselves. Okay, let's look for another one. Okay, this one seems a little bit messy. Let's read this one. It's by Talkology_, and it's titled, "Am I the a-hole for pouring water over my neighbour?" Okay. I feel like we haven't seen any, like, kind of messy, maybe petty, immature ones lately. They've all been, like, really obvious with who is in the wrong, and all like, dealt with really appropriately and maturely. So this will be a little bit different. I, 46 female, am a security guard who works night shifts. Braver than me, I could not. Normally, because of this, I sleep during the day and early hours of the morning, or at least I did before 2 neighbours moved in. My 2 neighbours come home early in the morning from God knows where, blasting dreadful music through the ceiling while I'm trying to sleep. As a security neighbours screaming and laughing at 5 in the morning. In a moment of weakness, I decided that enough was enough, and I poured a bucket of freezing cold water over my balcony under them to shut them up. I admit that it was probably immature, but it was an expression of months of having to put up with their inconsiderate behaviour and noise levels. About 5 minutes later, they're at my door, clearly intoxicated and screaming profanities at me. I just wanted to go to sleep, so I shut the door in their faces. It's been a few days now, and they haven't made much noise since, but I can't help but feel like I did something childish and irresponsible. I mean, yeah, it was petty, I'll say. I won't say childish, I'll say petty. It was definitely petty, but sometimes petty behaviour is warranted, and dare I even say needed, because it seems to have worked. They needed to be shown that you were not going to take their BS anymore. So yeah, while it was petty, it was, in my opinion at least, definitely justified. Definitely justified, and it seemed to work, which is brilliant. Let's look for another one. There's one that seemed really interesting. I'm gonna save it, but I'm not gonna read it right now because it is very, very long. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, it's a short one. It's by Conscious Act 726. It's titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my family members to leave the room so I can get some sleep? I am postpartum, and in our culture it's known that the postpartum time a mother sleeps in the same room as her mother, where they both help take care of the baby. I've been taking care and waking up with baby since the beginning though, so mum doesn't have to wake up, although she's been great in terms of cooking for me, etc. Not freshly postpartum, by the way. Today it was 2 a.m. and baby was asleep, and I wanted to sleep as well, when my brother and his wife, my sister-in-law, who was a 1-year-old, came in, talking with my mum in her room pretty loudly. I waited 30 minutes thinking they would leave soon, but they got pretty invested, and I asked my brother if he could take this downstairs because I'm trying to sleep, and so is my baby. I asked my mum specifically. My brother made a joke, saying it's mum's room, so she'll kick them out, which sister-in-law laughed at. Mom ignored my request and then kept speaking, and so did my brother, and then sister-in-law left, and so did my brother. Mum says I was rude for kicking them out, even though I said, and I quote, "Can you guys take it downstairs because I want baby to sleep and I really want to sleep as well, please?" Although sister-in-law and brother make us tiptoe in the living room because they live on the ground floor, because they don't want their baby to be woken up. Same with the TV volume. Honestly, am I the a-hole? Was it rude of me? My mom is saying it was rude and I caused them to abruptly leave. No, if they got offended by that, then that is a them issue. You politely ask them to leave. Not even leave, just people being like making themselves the victims when there isn't even an issue. It just asked an obvious question. I was gonna read that one, but I think it's very similar to one we read last week, so. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay, no, not that one. It's formatted weirdly. Let's do this one. Okay. It's by the Anon and it's titled, Am I the A-hole for overstepping by telling my brother he needs to take what his daughter says seriously this time so he doesn't damage their relationship more? My brother, 44, male, and my nieces, 17, female. Relationship has been strained since she was 8 and she packed up a little suitcase and said she was moving in with her maternal grandparents because my brother got engaged to my sister-in-law, 40 female, and sister-in-law moved in with them. My brother's first wife and my niece's mom had died 2.5 years before. My niece handled my brother dating well. She was fine with everything until it was marriage and moving in. The day sister-in-law moved in was the same day they got engaged. My niece started crying and she told my brother she didn't want to live with sister-in-law and he had to pick which one lived there, her or sister-in-law. Before we carry on, I do want to say, I understand people have their own, time frames with what feels right and what feels comfortable to them and whatever. But, having someone move in and get engaged to them that quickly after your wife, mother of child dying it feels a bit soon to me and a bit sudden, obviously, for the kid as well. My brother didn't take it seriously and he laughed because he thought she would come to accept it in time. He also didn't think she was serious about moving in with her grandparents. Even when she came down with a small suitcase of stuff, they watched her leave and they thought she'd turn around and come back home, but she didn't, and she made it to her grandparents' house. When they called my brother to confirm that she was there, he said he was going to go and pick her up. He heard her crying through the phone and she was distraught about being sent back home. He went over there and he said she screamed that she didn't want to live with her and she wasn't going and she wasn't replacing her mom. He agreed to let her stay for a night or two to calm down and he thought things would work out with some time. My niece went back home but their relationship changed that day. My brother tried therapy with her and with them as a family, but she is distant but civil, and that has always been the relationship ever since. She has never bonded once with sister-in-law or with her younger half-siblings. She merely tolerates her dad. All his attempts to improve their relationship have failed. My brother has always held on to the hope that with time things can get back to normal, as he says. My niece has never been open about her plans for college with my brother or sister-in-law when asked, but when my parents or I asked, we would be told she has plans, and and she was working out some stuff with someone. It turns out she was planning with her maternal aunt. She lives in another state, and my niece talked to her about moving out there and her maternal grandparents following. She recently told me that she's going to start over there and she won't be moving back home. Her plan is to live there for a year and then apply for a community college, and she's going to settle closer to her aunt and her grandparents when the time comes for her to get a place of her own. She also told me she would stay in touch more with us than her dad, but she'd still talk to her dad. My brother only learned of the plan a week ago, but he doesn't think she's serious, and he's been attempting to make summer plans with her and trying to talk more about college, but she has told him she won't be here. She also told him there won't be another Christmas where they're together, and she won't be spending next Father's Day with him, etc. My brother is peeving me off with his refusal to take this seriously. So I decided to intervene, and I told him to take this seriously before he damages the relationship further, because she is serious and she has been planning this without him for a long time. I said right now she plans to still talk to him, but I told him that could change if she feels like he's dismissive of her again. I thought he took on board what I said, but instead I was accused of overstepping by him and his sister-in-law. I was told I was naive and silly to take the words of a teenage girl that serious, and that of course she'll move away, but she'll probably move around, and then there can be visits both sides. But I'm making it sound like everything is my brother's fault when that's not accurate, because he has been trying his best for years to get back on track with her. Am I the a-hole? No, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole, in my opinion at least. Like I was saying before, it felt a bit soon because we don't know how long after the mum passed that he got in the relationship, and she'd only been passed for 2.5 years, and then to have the woman move in and get engaged, it is very quick in my opinion, but I understand people grieve differently and stuff like that, so that's fine. But I think, in my opinion at least, what isn't fine is forcing it on his daughter. Like, don't get me wrong, he's allowed to move on, he's allowed to, get remarried and start anew and all that, but I think with there being a child involved, his daughter, he should have taken it more slowly. He should have considered her feelings and whatnot before making these big life changes and these next steps, and especially once he saw her initial reaction, he should have took a step back and thought to himself, okay, like, she's still grieving, and regardless of that, this is obviously too soon for my daughter, so for her best interests, we're gonna take a step back, reevaluate, just date as normal, and try again moving forward at a later date, like, let her settle with the idea first. But no, he just pushed it on her, which is a big change, and I don't agree with it. He should have put her feelings first, even though, yeah, he's allowed to move on. I still think as a parent, unless they're being unreasonable, you should always put your kids, like, feelings and mental health and whatever first. The top comment says, not the a-hole, he's done the same thing twice now. Dismissed his daughter's very clear feelings and plans. This time it cost him a close relationship. The first time. This time it might cost him any relationship at all. You're not overstepping by warning him. You're the only one being honest with him. Yeah. grief properly, then no wonder she didn't take too well to everything. Given his dismissive attitude, I'm not surprised she's edging him out of her life. And then the OP replied with, he didn't do much after her mum died. He did spend a little more time with her initially, but there was no discussions about sister-in-law and her moving in or getting engaged. He asked her one time if she was okay with them dating, and everything else that happened just after that just happened. No discussion or figuring out how she felt about it beforehand. Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought. Like, he just has moved forward with this stuff, these big life changes, without